We are live. I'm your host, Gabriel Garcia, Expert35. We're talking about the challenges, the hardships, and the opportunities, bringing experts from 35 different industries. That's so funny. This is our 80th episode. I've never got that wrong, and I got it wrong today. But to our credit, I ended up having to mute because my microphone was about to blow up over here. I'm back in the office, back in Houston. And I think I'd forgotten how to do this out of an office. I've been doing it out of an RV, and it's been a crazy couple of months, Greg. So thanks for being on the show today, because you're on the show every day.
My pleasure. But this is a nice time to talk about just where we've been and where we are, and it's fun.
Yeah, no, you are in every one of these shows, always behind the scenes, helping just produce it. And so today we are going to blame Facebook a little bit for what's happened, and but also take credit for a lot of things great things that have happened because of Facebook. So this is Greg over there. Yeah, this is Greg.
Hello, everybody.
I know he's interviewed a couple people before and done a couple of the shows, but just couldn't have done this without you, Greg. Incredible energy and just enthusiasm, and you're in LA, so right. You're always up 2 hours before everybody else.
Yeah, but no, this is great. It's we luckily we work well together, and so that helps when things always don't go right.
Yeah, no, and so many things have gone wrong. We thought we'd talk about it. Mainly, Facebook's changed the way we publish. So we can't even leave the little live link like we used to, so people could see us like, hey, here they are, and we're live. So we're going to kind of work through those kinks. And but we are bringing people back next week. We'll be back live. We are live now, but we'll have live experts. The idea behind it was that, though. We started saying, hey, how can we get through this? How can we build something that's motivational and, really feature our expertise and the realm of influence that we have? And it's just been so much more than I could ever imagine. I've met people from all over. So we're going to kind of do a quick little recap
let's do it.
of what's happened, right? So do's and don'ts.
Right. Electric.
So, Greg, you helped me so much. You were like, your mic's not working. The internet connection's stuff. I couldn't really do it without those text messaging, those Slack connections. But I feel like this was one of our biggest challenge. What went down this day?
Yeah, I think most people, unless you really have been in production, you don't understand all that's going on in the background to even make something that seems very simple actually come to life. And this day was, I think we were still pretty new in the pandemic, right? And everyone was trying to working from home, and not everyone could get their mics working, and the internet was in and out. And this, unfortunately, was one of those days. Lester was just a great guest, and he dropped out literally 4 or 5 times for great lengths. And Gabe, you just did a great job, because you had to literally just ad lib and just totally stranded. And so you and I were messaging back and forth, which that's another thing that people wouldn't see that happens literally on every show. Because we were trying to just figure all this stuff out and try to get the train back on the tracks. And
and so interesting is I was so relaxed for this show, because I was like, I'm going to have an expert. Lester is the man when it comes to, sports announcing. He's on TV every day. He was picking up questions before I could even read the questions. This guy's a pro. So I was thinking I'm just going to let the pro take it. And then he fell off sometimes for it felt forever. Maybe it was 40 seconds, but man, 40 seconds of talking about something you weren't prepared to talk about, and then sounding smart. I probably didn't sound smart. I just acted like I knew what I was talking about. Yeah. And man, but so glad, Lester, come back. We love you. And it was so good to talk about sports. And now he's doing a lot of the sports announcing and traveling, because they still don't have spectators in the field. Right. So, that's crazy. So that was great. Oh man, when we had the founder of Ugo's and Sochi come and talk about reopening restaurants, that was kind of our first celebrity guest, because she was on before Lester. Lester was also a celebrity. So we've had some cool celebrities, but I think that was the first time we really actually got a lot of people asking questions, right?
Right. It was very pertinent at the time, and still is, right? We could probably have her back for sure.
Yeah, and so just so everybody knows, we use this platform called Be Live, and part of what it allows us to do is to post questions. And we never knew like how it was going to work. Like our original idea was pretty old school. We wanted to film everybody separate and edit it, and I'd never gone live before. I don't think I ever wanted to be in front of a camera, and now it's kind of forced me to be in front of a camera, but it really makes you think, and it makes you think differently. But I'm glad that this exists, because we've been able to really just connect differently with an audience. And I'm talking about different. This day was crazy, Greg.
That was the thing. We were dealing with multiple people, multiple locations. I think this was like a 4-location, production, which is amazing when you consider all of it was being done, by the phone. And then you throw in, wild animals with a penguin, trying to get all of that to work. It was pretty exciting.
And I don't know how much people know about this, but the Be Live platform is great, but we were trying to get a wide angle so you could see the penguin. So there's one guest showing the penguin, then she is another guest holding the earbud so we could hear her, because there was so much wind. And they were at the zoo, which had all these regulations, social distancing. It was just insane trying to like make sure we muted the right microphone, put the right video on to make it work. And then she didn't even follow what we thought she was going to say. And she said goodbye super early. So then all of a sudden we're cutting back to like Houston, and we got to talk about penguins. Oh my Lord. Yeah. What a, like, that was, I was so glad that we did it, because helping the Caldwell Zoo, and it just gave us kind of like the opportunity to learn more about our platform. But yeah, penguin reveals a thing on Expert35.
Yeah, well, the penguin was over it. The penguin, and she sensed that, so she cut it off right then, which is the right thing to do, right? Because it's about the animal. But yeah, it's all, folks. This is all live. It's all live.
And then Jennifer's asking if we. Oh, this is great. Fine, we'll throw her in there. If you're both chatting, who's going to pose my question?
That's actually a good question.
So, oh, she wants to know, Greg, what's your background?
Oh my gosh, this life or past lives. I've got a business background and worked. And now working in telecom and doing this show and loving it.
Oh my God. And Christian just chimed in as well. This is great. Like, it's good to like listen to all the OG Christians. Actually, let's talk a little bit about By the Numbers, right? Because we'll get through these. By the Numbers, this is our first episode with Shalini.
Right.
And it wasn't even supposed to be an episode. We were just like, oh, let's test out the platform. And we just went live, and we stumbled. We published on the wrong place. We weren't a group yet. We weren't approved for certain things. But man, Greg, thanks.
Yeah, and she was. I mean, all our guests have been great, but she was really, really good to go first.
Yeah, and if you notice, this one was only 7 minutes and 43 seconds, because we really didn't know how to get the questions in there and really build a conversation around it. Because we've had some shows go into 30 minutes, and we only don't let them go into 30 minutes if they're actionable. We don't want people to just be like, talking and talking and talking. One of the things that we want to get out of this fire chat is we're going to talk a little about stats, like some of the things that we got. And here's one of the OGs. Jennifer, there you go. This is why you're on here. She has been one of the ones that gets the most, over 3,000 views on all her videos. And I think it's just a testament to her network, to the value of what she's adding and talking about residential real estate and her concierge service here in Houston. But yeah, we couldn't have done it. I'm going to run through these numbers. This is our 80th episode. We started 80th, right? We started in April. Is that right? April 15th was our first show. So it really is incredible. We were doing 5 shows a week, and don't do that. Don't do what we did. It is incredible amount of work. And the hardest thing isn't always necessarily the production. The live production is stressful, and like we talked about all the little hiccups, like internet, and Greg, you just froze up a little bit, right? And I just kind of was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna have to tell about Greg's background, right? The hardest thing is getting the guests sometimes to just be there and be there on time. And so, we can talk about some of the really cool stuff that's happened. We've had guests he's from India, right?
Yeah.
And just dealing with him being 12 or 13 hours ahead and making sure it was a good time for everybody. Thank you for showing up, because some people don't show up. Right. Then one time I ended up I was in an RV, my AC busted. And so we did a show, Greg, you interviewed me for this. That was awesome.
Yeah, you just sent me a message. We were doing our separate things, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you just sent me a message saying, "Hey, we're going live," and we just threw it together. And actually, that episode got like over 1,000 views, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't at the right time, but we learned, hey, if it's something that's actionable, it's something that people are interested in learning about, it's gonna kind of take off. So we have 53,000. Was that minutes?
53,000. Yeah. Yes. And basically it's 886 hours of total viewing.
Nice. Right. And this is out of our 80 episodes. This is our 80th. I mean, we have some episodes that, yes, crash and burn. So we learned kind of what we need to do to make them actionable, to make them quick. We want to share those with you. Is, definitely be prepared. I think originally we were just kind of like going through this recipe, but we started getting deeper into it and really asking questions that were, making them decide which side of the line they're going to walk. And the controversy is also important, right? The doctors were great. They were saying, yes, we had a doctor saying you should open schools, right? Because she was saying, the masks, something that you have to teach the kids, but they also have to be socialized, right? And then we had other people saying, no, you need to be, stay home. And so it's really important to kind of be balanced. And it's hard to create an environment that's open to all this learning, but man, I've learned so much, Greg. I've learned a lot about production, but I've learned a lot about life as well. I think I
think that's what we set out to try to create, right, Gabe? Is a place where, because this all started when COVID and everything was crazy and people just didn't know what to do or what to turn, and we thought it'd just be good to create an environment to start facilitating these conversations, and that's what it's been all about.
Yeah. And I think, having people like Jose Pablo, the nonprofit, telling us how he shifted. He went from giving classes in person to parents to online distant learning. And he's actually using Textify, which is great, to help the parents navigate how to get their kids and how to set up Zoom for their kids, and just helping low income, as a lot of Hispanic parents navigate. But kudos to Jose Pablo, because he jumped on with 10 minutes, right? One of the ladies couldn't make it.
Someone couldn't make it. It canceled 10 minutes before the show. And mind you, what Gabe does in the background is he runs all of the graphics on the bottom. There's a thing that he just has, that's all preset. The person couldn't make it 10 minutes before. We had to completely swap all that out. And I've actually just lost my video screen, so I don't know if I'm still live. Am I still live?
You blipped out for a second, but you're live.
Okay, well, my monitor just went completely out. So, but anyway, and Pablo, he was a trooper. He came in and did a regular show, and honestly, I don't think anybody would have known that all that happened.
Yeah. Oh, look, Dr. Trevino, actually, we got to give a shout out to her, because she introduced us to a lot of, she was right after Jose Pablo. She introduced us to a lot of teachers as well. And so we actually have a great group of following teachers, because of Dr. E.T. So thank you so much for being an OG expert. We want you back.
Oh, great. Yes.
Let's talk about reopening schools. And if you're available, would love to have you back on the show. And we got, thanks, Jennifer. I thought it was another question, but I love that you don't even have a photo. I love this new image I've seen throughout Facebook. So Jennifer's also been a great supporter and just really helping us even invite new guests and always there for us. So yeah, we need people to back up because sometimes people fall out and it's emergencies or family things, and school gets in the way now, or a plumber issue. This is actually George, one of our OG experts, and this is at our office. He came and saved us from flooding, the bad type of flooding, the sewage flooding, and we went live, and that was kind of totally random. It was like good 18 minutes of just. I think Jennifer called it. It's like C-SPAN or, and that was our first time kind of dealing live with actual activities that were going on. So thank you, George, for saving us. And at the same time, it gave us a new learning experience, and we learned how to like shut off the water and like things not to throw down your, the toilet, right?
Right.
Oh man, and Greg, you did this one because you really did kind of. Help me because I was already traveling during Veterans Day. But talk a little bit about the Castro brothers.
Yeah, this was really good. They've gone through a lot as a lot of veterans have with health issues and things coming back from service, and they just wanted to. They felt like that veterans' voices were not being heard. And they actually felt a need to step up themselves and to tell not only their stories, but all of the guys that they served with and knew their stories and their families and what they were struggling with getting proper health care and support and all those kind of things. So they actually wanted to come on, and we came on. We actually talked about it for quite a bit beforehand because, about who wanted to be involved and all that. And when it came together, it actually, they were able to tell their story, and it was really powerful.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that we're able to kind of give voices to people that generally don't have a voice or are afraid of voicing their opinion. And the whole BLM movement kind of like shook us. I mean, I was traveling and I got back and I was like, what is happening? Like, how did this all shift? But we want to keep creating that environment where people are open and we have different perspectives, because that is how we're going to show kindness at the end. And he's there. He didn't know this, but Christian, this is one of our interns, and he actually not only helps Textify work, but he helps Expert35. He did so much work in the templates just to make sure that we can really get people online, because we have to know what they're experts on. We have to do some research, and just Christian did so much work behind the scenes. And he ended up graduating valedictorian of high school. He's at Rice University. Here's Christian saying that's amazing, but I guess wait. There you go. There's Christian remembering those interviews. It's crazy, those interviews, how we had to shuffle people around, because normally he sits in front of me, but he can't monitor. He has to go sit in another room, and this is his graduation. Congratulations again, valedictorian. And I'm glad we were part of really kind of showcasing you on your party. And then we also did a live stream for your graduation. So thanks for being part of it and still helping us.
He's amazing. I've met Christian and spent some time with him, and remember that guy's name, because he's going places.
Totally. He just sent us a quick little note. The guests have been incredible, and I think it's just creating this energy. And we couldn't have done it without our group. The founding, we called it Expert35. Nobody knows why it's Expert35, but we had 35 people that were in our group saying, "Let's do it." And so we're way beyond Expert35. What was the last expert? 70 something, right? Because it's the 80th. Yeah. It's the 80th episode. So clearly, we're up there. And not every episode had somebody in it. Here's a quick showcase of how to do something, how to do breakout rooms, how to change your Zoom settings. So if you have questions, we got answers. That's kind of our idea. Is we'll figure it out. We may not be able to answer it on the air if we don't know right away, but we'll find out and we'll re-air something with the best answer we can find. Right. Our original premise is experts from 35 different industries talking about the challenges, the hardship, and the opportunity. And I think one of the things that we kept and we learned, and we recommend this if somebody's going to do a show, is be consistent at least in some part of your structure.
Right.
And our structure, we always have 3 things to do now. And I think that's just, we're going to actually break it out and republish just the 3 things to do now from each one of our experts, because I learned security, I learned repairs, I learned compassion, I learned giving just from listening to all these different experts. So let's do it, Greg. What's our 3 things to do now?
I forget which order. Oh, don't give up. You do that one.
I'll do that one. So my soccer coach, Mike Henshaw, probably like the OG expert and mentor, pastor in Harvey. Man. He said, it's really hard to beat someone that never gives up.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So, it's every day. Like, get back up.
Yeah.
And I miss him.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
So don't give up. Get back up, because you're not going to lose if you never give up. All right, you get the second one.
All right. Next one is be kind, everyone. Be kind. It's always been true, but particularly now with what's going on in the environment and so much division and all that, and and there for the division, those are some real reasons, right? Why people are divided. But be kind. It goes a long way, and we've tried to do that here on this show. It's not always, it's something that has to be worked at, but it's so important, and the benefits to yourself and more importantly to everyone else is, that's what it's all about, is to be kind.
And that the foundation of Expert35 is like, don't stop learning. Throw yourself into new things. Always try to learn something new. And I think that's what's kept us kind of afloat through this. Like, we wouldn't be shifting. The reason we could do Expert35 is because our business just like dropped off. I mean, we were growing through networking, face-to-face, explanations. I mean, our service is a text messaging marketing platform, which sounds like it's something that you could sell remote, but we weren't. We were selling it, by showcasing it in person. And so we jumped into this because we had the bandwidth, and now we've actually built a new way of like introducing ourselves and rebuilding ourselves. So super excited that this is helping people. It's helping us. I mean, I think just having that regimen, right, Greg? If you didn't have this you're 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Yeah. What would your day be like?
Well, that's a great question, because it's particularly going. Initially, we're going every day, right? And then we started going like Monday morning and Wednesday morning. But actually, it sets the tone for the whole week. Yeah. And so it even has a positive effect on just my days, even on the days that we're not broadcasting. So yeah. And it's been great, and it's also, from my standpoint, I've met so many people that I never would have interacted with and been exposed to their expertise and all that. And so I've learned a tremendous amount, and it's been a good thing.
Yeah, no, I think people don't realize that, we only go live for 30 minutes, but we're working up to the minute of going live. And like, even now we're like, oh my God, who's going next week? And people are moving schedules around, and now Facebook is changing how they publish. So we've got a big old red thing on top of our Be Live thing telling us we need to change how we broadcast. And we will. We're gonna learn, and we're gonna get through this. But we couldn't do it without you guys. So everybody that's been part of this community. And we can see, I love that Christian's chiming in, Jennifer. It's just really fun seeing you guys help build this, because it's not really for us. It's for you. It's for the listener. It's for the group, for the community. We don't sell ad spots on this because we really, believe in that giving, you're going to gain. And it's a group so that people can chat and share. We do, Greg, you do help moderate the group so that, it doesn't get spamish. And well, we got to kick people out every once in a while.
Right.
Because again, it's about helping. It's about building. And man, I just last night, the flooding, we're in Houston and it's flooding. And it just kind of just reminded me of Harvey, and it just kind of brought back all these, tough memories. So it's like, man, get through it, and we will. So
never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up, Coach.
That's right. We'd love to have you guys on the show. Text Expert35 to the number on the screen. By the way, that is Textify. That is the service that we also offer. Shameless plug, but I guess we get to because it's our show. Right. If you want to be on the show, text Expert35. It'll show you how to get on here. We'd love to learn more about different industries, different areas. Greg, you just told me that, air conditioning companies are struggling to find heaters in the north, right? Because of the whole COVID piece, and it's about to get cold. So, how are we going to kind of get through this, and where the U.S. is going is challenging, right? And so I hope we can give you guys more. I'd love to get your feedback, get your messaging, and if you're an expert and you've got something to say, we'd love to hear it. All right, Greg, as always, thank you for being part of this. We could never do this without you.
Gabe, and thank you. And you've been the driving force, and this was, your idea. When I remember you called me that first day and to talk to me about it. And so thank you. And I speak on from everybody, thanks for, doing all the hard lifting.
All right, guys. I'm your host, Gabriel. I can't even do this. This is hilarious.
He's Gabriel. I'm Greg. This is Expert35. We'll see you next time.
It took us forever to figure out that we could do this with the music. And now we got music and the tone and our little song. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon.
This is for a better tomorrow and a better today. Let's come together, and together we will find a way. You got questions, we got solutions. You got problems, we got resolutions. Visit expert35.com. No need to worry, just remain calm. No more pain, no more sorrows. We provide